Okay, we are now recording. Thank you everyone for joining us this morning. My name is Rebecca Antel. I'm the Youth Services Consultant for the South Carolina State Library. This morning we are going to be talking about all of the programming opportunities that SNAP-Ed can offer. What is SNAP-Ed, who it serves here in our state, and what the libraries can do for programming partnerships. Just a little bit of housekeeping. Obviously, the meeting is being recorded and will be available later on our YouTube channel. And you'll get a link to the recording emailed to you. If you need closed captioning, that is also available. You can click on the More button down at the bottom, and one of the options will be live transcript. And Ashley, I'm going to go ahead and turn it over to you.
Thanks for joining us, everyone. Ashley, thanks for doing the slides for us. So my name's Carrie Draper, and I'm a senior research associate in the Arnold School of Public Health at the University of South Carolina. And for about the past 5 to 6 years, part of my role there has been to be the principal investigator for our SNAP-Ed implementing agency housed out of the Arnold School. So I'm going to get us started today, and I'm going to be giving just a broad overview of what the SNAP-Ed program is and how it's structured in the state of South Carolina. And then Ashley will be talking about the programming that we do out of the Arnold School relevant to libraries, and then representatives from the other 3 implementing agencies will then be talking about their programming. So the goal of SNAP-Ed, which is a federal United States Department of Agriculture Nutrition Assistance Program, the goal is to improve the likelihood that persons eligible for SNAP will make healthy food choices within a limited budget and choose physically active lifestyles consistent with federal dietary and physical activity guidelines, while recognizing that people eligible for SNAP are living on a budget. Next slide. So what is the SNAP program? SNAP is the Supplemental Nutrition Assistance Program, the program that used to be called food stamps for many years in the United States. It is a means-tested program, which means that people have to meet certain criteria, in this case, especially income criteria, to be eligible to receive SNAP benefits. And so individuals and households that are deemed to be eligible to receive SNAP then get an EBT card in the mail, like you can see here on the screen. And every month, a certain amount of money gets put on the card for people to be able to use that to purchase food at places like grocery stores, farmers markets, dollar stores, corner stores, convenience stores, lots of different retail outlets accept SNAP benefits. And so the program goal is to alleviate hunger in the United States. And you can go to the next slide. So close to 2/3 of people who receive SNAP in the United States, this isn't South Carolina specific data, but it would be very similar here. But the majority of people receiving SNAP are children, older adults, and people who have a disability. And you can see in the other chart that on average, households receive about $245 in SNAP each month. And that equates to a little over $4 a day per person is the average amount that somebody gets in SNAP to be able to purchase food. Currently in South Carolina, we have about 292,000 households who receive SNAP, and that's around 610,000 individuals. So, that's a lot of people then that we are aiming to reach and engage in our SNAP-Ed programming. Next slide. So the theoretical model for SNAP-Ed is a social ecological model for food and physical activity decisions. And so this model recognizes and demonstrates how layers of influence intersect to shape a person's food and physical activity choices, and therefore ultimately their health outcomes. So you can see here the different layers of influence within this model. So social and cultural norms and values. So things like our, our lifestyle, our traditions, the sectors that are in our society that influence policies and environments. So the government, healthcare, transportation, among many others. Then the settings that we interact with in our lives. So from the place where people live and lay their heads at night to the schools where our children go, to other community settings like libraries. And then individual factors, so things like socioeconomic status and our knowledge and skills. So all of these things ultimately work together then to, again, influence what we eat every day and how physically active we are. Next slide. The way that then translates to, from theory to program implementation is that the SNAP-Ed approach focuses on multi-layered evidence-based interventions that include direct nutrition education, nutrition and physical activity support. So working with different partners like libraries to make opportunities for healthy eating and physical activity more accessible and equitable in our communities, as well as social marketing campaigns to promote healthy eating and physical activity and positive messages around that. Next slide. And so the way SNAP-Ed is structured in our state, every state gets federal funding to administer, implement, and evaluate SNAP-Ed programming, but it can look quite different state to state. So in South Carolina, the Department of Social Services is our agency that administers the SNAP program. So then they also are the ones that administer the SNAP-Ed program. They do some of their own programming internally, like the SNAP Healthy Bucks program, if you've heard of that program. But they grant out the majority of the money that they're receiving to what are called implementing agencies. And so that is who you are hearing from today. For our implementing agency at the university, we have 6 different projects that we work on. And now I'm going to turn it over to Ashley to talk about the ones relevant to working with libraries. Thanks so much for having us, Rebecca.
Thanks, Carrie.
Good morning, everyone. And I want to say thank you, Rebecca, for hosting all of our 4 SNAP-Ed agencies. And I want to shout out Stephanie on the call. Known Stephanie for a lot of years at my across the street library. So love seeing you on the call. And I saw some others, Union, we've been working with Union County Library. So good to see some familiar library systems on the call and hope to connect with some others of you today. And so part of my role at USC, I kind of wear 2 hats, and I'll talk a little bit about both. But first is kind of our policy system and environmental change library work. Then I'll kind of wrap up talking about our newer work involving food policy councils around the state. But kind of what I do in trying to reach out to libraries is, as you'll see on the right-hand side, kind of this recruitment flyer. So typically I'll reach out to Rebecca on an annual basis and say, hey, Rebecca, could you please send this flyer out to libraries that I haven't connected with, just to see if they're interested in talking about some PSC strategies. So you see here, maybe it's a farmer's market, maybe it's a garden. Union, we're working on a seed library. We worked on already doing a garden, and some other types of strategies that maybe a library will be interested in. And I will say, as Carrie mentioned, some of our other SNAP-Ed IAs will talk about kind of some of the best strategy is to have that PSC, policy system and environmental change work paired with that nutrition education. So sometimes I encounter a library that hasn't done any engagement with SNAP-Ed. Sometimes they may have done nutrition education, and then they want to follow up with policy, system, environmental change work. And sometimes I'm kind of the connector. They get connected with me. Then my goal is to connect them also with the Clemson or a DHEC or a Low Country Food Bank to provide that nutrition education support as well. Also, another strategy is already libraries that I'm connected with. So like Richland Library is a lot of various branches. So some of you, I saw Spartanburg, Pickens, Horry County. Some of you all have multiple branches. So I may start working at one branch. So for Richland Library, for example, started working with the main branch. Then it expanded to North Main. We're trying to look at something getting set up at Wheatley, as well as the Edgewood branch, looking at a farmer's market model that kind of started at that main branch, but is expanded outward to other branches. And also just kind of the word of mouth. People may know about what I do and, may recommend, hey, you may want to check out, this library, or have you heard about some work that they do? Maybe you all can collaborate together. So kind of how this system works is kind of what we just saw, that recruitment flyer. And so on that is a link to a interest survey, just to kind of, so I can get a little information about your library, maybe what you're interested in, maybe some partners that you already have, just to kind of get a feel for your library branch or system. Then we do now with COVID, a lot of things are happening virtually. So a virtual or in-person readiness assessment, just to go a little deeper to figure out where you are, what strategies you may be interested, as well as some goals for kind of this PSC or library nutrition support work that you're interested in. Then a library will go ahead and select a strategy. So there's some libraries, they may indicate I'm interested in 2 or 3 strategies, but let's kind of go one at a time. So they'll select that first strategy to work on. Then I come along for the ride of providing technical assistance during that implementation stage. And I will say one of my favorite words is a 4-letter word that starts with F, and it's free. So I know how libraries are. You all are on a budget. You're looking at, how can I bring in partners that aren't necessarily looking that I have to provide finances to? And so the work that I do is free. So this is free technical assistance, free resources, knowledge, anything I'm willing to share with you all and working with you. Then also looking at how can we sustain that work. So if it's a farmer's market, how can we sustain that? If it's a seed library, how can we sustain that? And then once that strategy has been implemented, how can we continue to provide that support? So it may not be as frequent as it was during the implementation stage, but continue to check in, continue to provide additional support. And for some libraries, it's moving on to looking at another nutrition strategy to implement. So here are just some pictures from various libraries. So Richland Library, you'll see your pictures out, and that's from the main branch about their farmers market. So the farmers market kind of last year was on hiatus due to COVID, but glad 2 weeks ago, the library restarted the farmers market outside in a social distance way. On the right, you'll see the Fairfield Library has their seed library, and on the top, there's been some produce giveaway distributions. I know Calhoun and the Orangeburg Library worked with them to do some, as well as example of a community garden that the Denmark Library was involved in. And then also kind of how this links to some of our food policy committee work. So we recently created a grant that we started about 2 months ago, and we're working with 7 communities across the state. And so what this does is provide some support, financial support for to hire someone to help create or take an existing food policy committee to the next level. So we provide, additional training, additional TAs, provide resource knowledge, also help with if there's some, strategies of best practices folks are interested in, and also just suggestions from state level as well as other level of work that we've done. So here are our 7 communities that we are working with. So we do work with the Columbia Food Policy Committee as well as the State Food Policy Council. So I will put in the chat that you can join the State Food Policy Council for free. There's a free general membership that you can join as an individual as well as an agency. But also here are the 7 grant participants that we recently launched. So you will see Greenville, Greenwood, Marion County, Oconee County. I saw Pickens up there. So Oconee County, Lexington County for those cities of West Columbia and Casey, and also York County. So if you're interested in, working with us and learning more about the Food Policy Committee work, or working to develop a nutrition support policy system environmental change strategy at one of your branches, please feel free to reach out to me at the email below. Thank you so much, Rebecca. And I think at this time, I'm turning it over to Dana in the Low Country Food Bank.
Thank you, Ashley.
Hey, y'all, can you hear me? I'm on the phone.
We can. Yep.
Also, sorry that I say CTDA. I was wondering who that was. It was me the whole time. My name is Dana. I am the Director of Nutrition Initiatives at the Low Country Food Bank. And we, I see our friends in Jasper and in Conway. So hi, Allison. Hi, Darlene. I'm going to share about Cooking Matters. So it's not just what we're doing over here in the Low Country. All right, can you see the PowerPoint? We got a little ahead of ourselves, but can you see Low Country Food Bank PowerPoint?
Yes, you're good.
Awesome. Okay. So just wanted to share just really quick, we are one of 4 food banks that serve South Carolina. The red counties that you see popped out, those are the coastal counties that the Low Country Food Bank serves, and we are the ones doing SNAP education along the coast. So again, Darlene, you see your county there, and Allison, you see Ori up in the north. But what I'm going to share with you, all of the implementing agencies are doing. I did want to talk food bank. So if you're in the Midlands, you're with Harvest Hope. If you are in I saw somebody who's here from Spartanburg. You guys hang with Metrolina, which is actually located in Charlotte. And sorry, Greenville, you're also with Harvest Hope. And then if you're on the western border, you are with Golden Harvest. Good friends at all of them. Golden Harvest is the only other food bank that's really working on some sort of nutrition education and health. We are hoping that Harvest Hope and Metrolina will get there. But in terms of food access, those are your friends that you're going to work on with food access. So like Carrie said, we're all working on some kind of education, policy, system, environmental change strategy, and promotion is a big part of all of that. So we are looking to create conditions where people are encouraged to act on their education and awareness, and where healthy choice can really become the easy and preferred choice. And we've had so much fun working with our libraries so far, and hope to go even deeper as COVID hopefully evolves and we can get back to in-person one day. But what I'm sharing with you today is Cooking Matters. Again, all of the implementing agencies are offering Cooking Matters, and we do it all in slightly different ways. The different ways that we all can do it is through 6-week courses. I want to say Clemson as well as DHAC have both been offering these even virtually. We took a pause from our 6-week 2-hour classes and went all virtual. So we were not doing any kind of cooking other than sharing videos. But we are so excited to hopefully be able to socially distance and create safe classrooms starting maybe even this summer. So these are 6 weeks, 1 day a week for 6 consecutive weeks. So classes are 2 hours and they're very hands-on. And so we are cooking food together, we are talking about nutrition, and then we're sending all of the participants home with a bag of food to practice in the safety of their own environment. So we read through the recipe, we learn what those terms mean, we learn how to do it, and then we send them home to practice at home. And then next week, our participants come back to share with us what went well, what didn't go well, and we can problem solve. So everybody that goes to that class receives a book, and upon graduation, they get some gifts and goodies. But what's beautiful about this program is that we have curricula for specific target age ranges. And so the book that I have on the screen here is for families, which is a parent or guardian and child, ages 8 to 12. But we also have ones just for adults, and so that spans the age range. We have a curriculum specifically for parents, mainly of parents of young children, 0 to 5. And then we have, like I said, our families class, which we love getting the families together. Kids, ages 8 to 12, a teens class, and I think I got all of them. And so we can work with different age ranges. The local
Dana?
food bank is, yes, ma'am.
We just had a question about population served. Are the classes conducted for Spanish speakers?
Great question. We have the books translated in Spanish. We are always looking for the ability to reach our Spanish-speaking friends. Our biggest limitation is finding those that can help us teach in Spanish. We've done classes where we have an English-speaking teacher and a translator, and that's great, but how great would it be to get teachers that can truly teach it and not just translate it? So yes, most definitely, but translators are our biggest limitation. It hasn't held us back yet, but just an extra barrier for us to overcome. Great question. I would say one of our big limitations that we're really focusing on with Cooking Matters is the recipes. And so that's another thing that we really want to update our menus a little bit, but that's a different story, so that we can reach a wider range of cultural foods. All right, so courses, they're a big commitment. They're 2 hours, they're 6 weeks. Some people might not want food in their library, so we offer store tours. And our grocery store tours, we can actually do at a grocery store, but we also can do it in a classroom setting. And this is a really great way to get started and kind of see how it goes with your community, if this is something they're interested in. We offer them for like 90 minutes, and that way we can get hands-on and do a fun activity. At the end of this, our participants know about choosing between fresh, frozen, and canned fruits and veggies. They know about reading labels and how to actually navigate that to make the best choice for what you're looking for, and also using the unit price to make the best choice for your budget. And then we talk about whole grains and kind of how to navigate each food group. But at the end, they get $10 to spend on groceries, or we bring them a grocery bag full of food, showing how we made those choices between no salt added and fresh, frozen, and canned and all that kind of stuff. So again, people are walking away with food or money to buy food. And we have actually done this virtually. So we do have the ability right now to do it virtually, which has been pretty good, actually. We're hesitant at first. We know that internet is a limitation, but we do have the ability to do it online, or we're willing to come back to a classroom setting with limited numbers. We also do events, and so by events I mean sampling. We do a lot of sampling, we do tabling. Those are great, but we want that to be something that is getting us to one of our classes. So we will come and do education tables, but it's not something we do consistently. That's kind of our way to engage with your community and get them excited about one of our classes or tours. So other than that, like I said, some of us have gone virtual. We are offering a virtual series. We actually are doing it with our Horry County Library friends right now. I think people are exhausted with virtual, so we're continuing to offer it, but we're really pushing to get back to the classroom if we can. But our virtual series are 6 lessons. The first one is a store tour, so that's an hour, and then the rest of the lessons are 30 minutes, and everyone gets sent a $5 gift card at the end of that. So still getting money for food. But I wanted to get you excited about what we learned and what it looks like, because we want to get back to the classroom. I see Rebecca's face. She got to help us teach some of these. So we do safe food prep, so we're talking about how to work together in the kitchen. This is pre-COVID, so everybody's very close, but this is a family's class, so you can see parent or guardian helping guide their child through safe cutting, working together. We go over nutrition ed, and so on the left side of the screen, we're talking about measuring and doing calculations. So we do a little bit of math, a little bit of measurement, all of that to talk about how much sugar is in a certain food or drink. On the right side, you can see that's actually a sister working with her younger sisters as a family unit. This is our grocery store tour. On the left side is when we are in the store. On the right is what our $10 bag looks like if we bring the food to you versus doing it in the store or giving out gift cards. So pretty loaded bag that we can kind of talk about how we fit it all in there. And this is how we're hoping to get back to a safe environment. So it's going to be a little less group cooking, and we're going to do a little bit more prep for the individual to take their groceries home. So keeping distance, you can see the little one in the middle. She made her own banana pudding in a bag, and she learned about chopping and dicing and slicing. So we are continuing to kind of evolve how we can get back to the classroom while staying safe. I just wanted to put a plug in there that we are really working on that, and so hopefully you guys feel confident that we can do it together. And why do we do it? Look at these faces. Look at these faces. So everybody that goes to a 6-week class graduates, and we make it a really big deal. The hugs on the right side of the screen is when they're hugging our chef and our assistant, and really thankful for getting to do this together. It's sometimes people's first time graduating from something, and they get a certificate, and that certificate is more important to them than the book. See the little boy's face as he's trying our stir fry. People are lit up that they can make their own Asian food. It's awesome. And on the left, that is our mama and her son learning that they can safely get to the kitchen together. And big thumbs up, they actually do like it if they cook it. So just really quick, this is our, like I said, virtual opportunities, so that we have plenty of those. We have all of the implementing agencies have videos that you can look for on YouTube or through our website. So lots of opportunity to share. We've been sharing this through several of our library systems, so happy to share this, our YouTube page with y'all and have you post it as well. I'm going to skip over that. We are working on access. If you're going to our website, I do apologize. Our normal website is down, and it won't be up until the end of June, so we don't have a map for you to find out how to get people food, but hopefully in the future, you will have a more interactive map where you can help your community learn how to get food from the Low Country Food Bank. The other websites for the other food banks are live, so you too can go to their website and click on Find Help and find food for your community. I don't know how long that was. It was really fast, but I think I'll be sharing this out, so if you guys have any questions, I'm happy to answer now. But I'm looking at you, Darlene and Allison. We want to continue to do this in the community, so.
Awesome. Thank you, Dana. That was fantastic. And just like I put in the chat, these classes are great. They definitely make a difference with the community. So if it's something that you feel like you could host at your library, they're fantastic, and I definitely recommend them. Dana, what's the cost of hosting something like this at the library? Is there a cost involved?
That's a great question. So thankfully, between SNAP-Ed and some grants, the Low Country Food Bank really does not ask for any monetary exchange for this. The cost for you is time and a whole lot of like work on your heart, because it's going to grow so big when you do this. So we're lucky enough here. I know that I can't speak for the rest of the implementing agencies. There is obviously costs associated with the groceries that people go home with. Or the gift cards, and so the other implementing agencies may have a partnership approach. If you have money you want to spend, we will gladly put it towards the classes, but we're lucky enough in the Low Country that we have partnered with Boeing, and they are very excited for this program, so we're doing okay money-wise for food. So we don't need anything but your time and your space.
Awesome, thank you. And I know something that's come up a couple of times in some of the library partnerships is that this is a class that requires registration. And that can be difficult for some of our libraries because we don't typically do registration. But because, we like the families there week after week after week so that everyone is getting the learning and they're going home with groceries, or they're getting sent a gift card. That's why the registration is so important, and it's so important to get them there. So that's just something to kind of talk about at the beginning of the partnership and how that's going to work out. So thank you, Dana, very much.
Point. I will say we've had some great success doing registration during COVID. Eventbrite makes for a really pretty way for people to see it and engage. We did accidentally leave one open and had somebody join us from Charlotte. Oops. But the registration shows the commitment on the participant. It helps us know that they are committed. They have to come to at least 4 of the 6 classes to graduate. And it also helps us know that they're meeting the target age range. So it can seem overwhelming at first, but it really helps to really see the participant's commitment to showing up and allows us to get the food we need. So we haven't had any issues, honestly. I know it's a change in what you're used to, but through Eventbrite, you can create a free registration and just post it. We really like to not just go through social media. We like to do flyers and things like that because we know that there are a lot of people that we're trying to reach that aren't using social media. So we'll get creative with you in recruitment. We have posters for you. Now that we're all fancy with the QR codes, we have those. It's just teaching people how to use them. So we can work together on recruitment strategies for sure.
All right, thank you, Dana. And Sarah or Sandra, who's next? I was thinking Sarah, but I could be wrong.
Now after, oh, there we go.
Right.
Okay, stop sharing.
You're fine. Yes, Sandra is next, and then I will go after her.
Sandra, how are things on your end? Is your computer cooperating?
If not, I'm happy to go.
On the call, but it doesn't look like. Sarah, why don't you go ahead?
All right, I'll go ahead and get started. Hello, everyone. My name is Sarah King, and I'm a program coordinator with Clemson SNAP-Ed. I am looking to get the screen up for you all. In 1 second. All right. Can you all see my presentation? Perfect. All right. So thank you so much, Dana. Loved your picture. And by the way, and again, my name is Sarah King. I'm program coordinator at Clemson SNAP-Ed. I know we have several people on the call today from Abbeville, Spartanburg, Pickens, Union, and Greenville, and we are delighted to see you all here today as those are some of the counties that we covered. So if you are interested in SNAP education, please let us know as we are happy to work with you all and provide that to you. We cover 16 counties within Clemson SNAP-Ed, most of the upstate and of course the western region on into Clarendon County. And like Dana and Low Country Food Bank, we also provide cooking matters. So for the individual who asked about the Spanish speaking classes, we are able to provide that, and we have a Hispanic outreach health educator. So he teaches all of his classes and information through Spanish directly to those individuals. And we always enjoy being able to provide that outreach to that population. We are providing a lot of our programs in person and virtually at this time, and we do so through different platforms such as Facebook, Zoom, YouTube. And so I'll discuss a little bit more of that in our virtual programming at a later time. Another program that I know DHEC SNAP-Ed will share more about here shortly is Walk with Ease. And so that is a program that we are able to provide as well. This is a program that's for adults individually or older senior citizens who are looking to become more physically active and not have so much of a sedentary lifestyle. What we do is this is a 6-week class lesson that teaches them some safety stretches, some chair stretches, and then helps them just to be able to walk. The goal is to walk up to 30 minutes by the end of the course. And essentially we start with 5 minutes in the first class of walking and then add 5-minute increments after that. But we are able to provide these to any type of, again, older adult or senior center population. Unfortunately, this was a program that we weren't able to implement as much last year due to the pandemic, but we have started to again, and we can certainly do so within library systems as well. We like to enjoy walking outside sometimes, so if you have some wonderful outdoor spaces and are interested in this program, please feel free to let us know. We also provide assistance with policy system and environmental changes. I know Carrie and Ashley touched on that briefly. Essentially, we are looking to create sustainable changes within the communities that we serve to provide healthier alternatives, more accessibility and affordability to nutrition and physical activity resources. And so we can certainly work with you all on that. But some of the programs that I'm going to focus on today that we offer specifically within Clemson SNAP-Ed is our MyPlate, USDA MyPlate program and curriculum, our Catch curriculum, Sesame Street, and of course, I'll touch on our new virtual programming and how we can work with you all directly within the library systems on that. So for those of you who are already familiar with the USD MyPlate, this is our basic nutrition information class. Essentially, we can teach this course to any age, to any population, and it can either be a one class time occurrence or a class series. We can alternate our curriculum slightly so that we are able to provide as much information within the time allotted, but also provide assistance in teaching people how to read food labels and identify foods within the specific food groups. So of course, we focus on grains, protein, dairy, fruit, and vegetables. And that is something that what we've tried to do in the past, again, due to COVID at this time, we have altered slightly, but we do try to provide some type of food sample or food demo when we are in person and teaching this class. At this time, we are going ahead and preparing the food on our own. We are not having participants physically touch the food themselves until they are able to consume it. But this is something that we like to teach people and introduce individuals to new foods they may not have tried before. So this is something we are offering both in person and online at this time, and can simply be done if you just have a set of tables in a room that's socially distanced. We can certainly help you all with that. The next program that we like to specifically focus within our child populations is our coordinated approach to childhood health, or our CATCH curriculum. This is again a one class occurrence or a multiple class series that we can work with you all on depending on the population and the time availability within your programming. Again, this is a focus to increase moderate vigorous physical activity within our child populations. And so we have specific toolkits that range between pre-K all the way through 8th grade. We can also adapt this program slightly for some high school students as well. And we would like to, what we do ideally when we're providing the CATCH curriculum is we have over 250 activities and games that help teach the kids on nutrition and physical activity as they are being physically active and engaging with our health educator. And so again, some of these activities are team-based and have sometimes had shared equipment. We have altered that due to social distancing measures at this time, but we are able to have some physical activity games in which we are able to space out the children equally or individually, and they are able to still be active and still be engaging and learning, even though it may not be an team effort right now. Our next curriculum that we have is Sesame Street, and it's Healthy Habits for Life. This is actually one that in just working with other libraries in the past, we have seen that you all are familiar with if you have not already. Essentially, this is a one class occurrence or a multiple class series that is focused individually for children between the ages of 3 to 7. And what this program does is essentially use our favorite Sesame Street characters and help children start identifying new fruits and vegetables, as well as why it's important to move and be physically active through different colors and activities and games that are associated with our Sesame Street characters. And so this is an adaptation program in the sense that it provides some videos and instruction that includes your favorite characters like Elmo going to the grocery store and learning how to shop, and identifying those new foods, but also our health educators are able to go ahead and engage with the children and be able to show them activities and pictures related to some of the healthy foods and vegetables. Again, this is a program we are offering in person and virtually at this time. So if you're interested, please let us know. And so I keep speaking on our virtual program, So this is essentially a new way that we are able to provide outreach this past year within Clemson SNAP-Ed. We did not host any of our programs previously on any type of virtual platform until this past year. And so our virtual program has been expanding and growing. And we are able to start utilizing a lot more of our website. So if you're interested in some of the videos that we already have and resources that we've posted, please feel free to join us at clemsonsnaped.com. And look at some of the resource tabs there in terms of some of the extra printed materials we're able to offer this time and some of our previous demonstrations. But we're also working directly with libraries right now through their Facebook, and we are able to host Facebook Lives as well as host short video demonstrations on both physical activity and nutrition, in which those libraries are able to go ahead and post on their own Facebooks and engage with the population in that way. And we are always loving some of the comments and some of the information that we've been receiving from these Facebook posts. We also have a small YouTube channel that we are able to host and provide some of these videos on. And we can host live Zoom classes such as this and be able to instruct and work along with other participants in providing. What we do sometimes is we provide food demos and ingredients to the libraries themselves for the participants to pick up prior to the Zoom class. And they are able to go home and prepare and then join us at the allotted time and walk through with the health educator how to safely but be able to prepare food on their own within their own environment and kitchen settings. And so we make sure they have the recipe and the food available at no cost, and they are able to join us just with the designated link that we post as a QR code to the recipe itself. So those are just some of the ways that we are providing virtual outreach at this time. And then of course we have some printed materials and incentives that we are able to hand out in some distribution boxes right now. So for example, I know there is a library system that we are looking to partner with in providing some recipe cards as part of some of their craft kits they provide each week to some of the local residents. And so as part of those recipe cards, we could be able to provide a Zoom class demonstration specifically for that library and its participants. And we are looking to do so through any type of material that you are distributing at this time to your local residents. And so I do have a short little video of one of the videos that is actually a food demonstration by one of our health educators, Erica, and this is a video that we provided in partnership with the Aiken County Library System to post on their Facebook page recently. And so it is a few minutes long. I'm going to skip through and show you the beginning and show you kind of the end of it and just show you what we're able to do in our virtual program. Please let me know if you are not able to see it though.
Sarah, we can see it, but we can't really hear it.
Oh, okay, well, that is perfectly fine. In that case, essentially what this is just doing is showing you just how our health educator is able to provide certain demonstrations along the way. What she does is she works directly in making sure that you are able to see step-by-step the process and how she is safely cutting up the food that's available right now. She's working on some garlic parmesan mushrooms. And so she's able to show you how to safely cut the mushrooms, how to be able to salt them and prepare them in a healthy manner, in a healthy way to season them. And then, of course, she'll show you and work with you in showing the end demonstration and, of course, the taste test at the end. So you work with her step by step and making sure the food is prepared and ready, and then of course being able to cook the food itself. So we have many of these videos already on our SNAP-Ed website. If you haven't, you're more than welcome to chat with me about that, and I have my contact information located at the end. Some other just past partnerships and programs that we've done with other libraries in the past is we are currently working, I know in the upstate, with some seed library systems, in the sense that these libraries are looking to provide seeds to their local residents. And so we are able to create recipe cards that are associated with the food that is being grown from these seeds, so that these residents are able to go ahead once the produce is ready to prepare a new dish for them to try. We also work along with Food Share within some of the counties that are currently have the Food Share program. If you are not familiar with Food Share South Carolina, this is essentially a produce box that is available to some of the residents, and what they're looking to do throughout all 46 counties in South Carolina eventually. And our SNAP-Ed participants are able to receive these food boxes about $5. And so what we do is provide recipe cards as well as live and virtual food demonstrations within some of the counties that we are working on. So I know Lawrence County at this time is one of the counties that we are able to partner with Food Share on, as well as out of the Bamberg Hub working with Barnwell County and providing some food recipes within some of their Food Share boxes at this time. And so I know that some of the distribution sites are libraries themselves, or looking to be libraries. And so we would love to work with you all through that. The lovely Charlie Cart project, which I know you all have access to within the state of South Carolina. We have used these Charlie Carts for some of our Cooking Matters demonstrations, as well as be able to provide equipment on other food nutrition related demonstrations. And so anytime that your library may have a Charlie Cart, we would be happy to be a program to help service and use that and provide health education in partnership with that. We also provide chair yoga and physical activity short demonstrations within the libraries themselves. As long as there's a meeting space or an opportunity to meet, we can do that both in person and virtually at this time. Of course, I mentioned and talked about food demonstrations earlier, and then we host tabling events as well, where we're able to provide some printed resources and materials, whether that's outside in one of your local lawn areas or even inside in kind of the lobby area. We're able to be there and host a tabling event to introduce people to the Clemson SNAP-Ed and provide some education materials as well. So that is essentially my short presentation for today. If you have any questions or looking to see how we could potentially partner with you all in providing some of these programs through your library systems, please feel free to contact me. My email is listed there, as well as my phone number. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out at any time. And so thank you so much.
All right, thank you, Sarah. Sandra, do we have you with us and able to talk? Yes. Hi.
Okay. All right. Let's see. Okay. Hold on just a second. Okay. So I'm Sandy Spann, and I'm the SNAP-Ed manager at Department of Health and Environmental Control in Columbia, South Carolina. And we cover 21 counties. These are the counties that we cover. And we've done lots of things in the libraries in the past. We have 5 registered dietitians, 4 nutrition education specialists, and 2 of our nutrition education specialists, one of them is actually leaving, but one of them is a certified master gardener, and she provides technical assistance to partners who want to plant edible gardens. And her knowledge has been invaluable already, and she just recently received her certificate. We go everywhere, and we love going to the libraries because they're always so much fun and always love to have us. But we go several places. We'll go anywhere to do any program that we have. One of our adult programs is a nutrition education curriculum. It has 6 lessons, and it utilizes My Plate as a teaching tool. And with each of those lessons, we have a cooking demonstration, and everybody gets to taste whatever it was we demonstrated that day. And we try to line those up with the classes, if it's on reducing sodium or eliminating some sugar, or on protein, whole grains, dairy, etc. And then we had this past year, with everybody being so isolated, our staff took on the task of revising one of our older cookbooks, and it's now called Eating Healthy in a SNAP. It has the nutrition facts panel on it, and all of the recipes have been tested over this past year. We also have a nutrition manual for adults that we give out. And then, of course, we use health promotion reinforcement materials like from USDA and My Plate tip sheets. During this period as well, we did videos like the tasty videos where you just see the hands. We videoed 12 of these recipes from the new recipe book. And some of the ones that we did were the blueberry carrot multigrain muffins, Brunswick stew, a goulash, oven roasted vegetables, an old fashioned bread pudding recipe, and then black bean brownies, which has actually been a popular one. Some of our recipes we adapted from Cooking Matters and just various sources from all over the country. And here is Brooke, who's now at Clemson, actually, demonstrating the use of other things besides salt. And then that was translated into the chicken quesadilla recipe that everyone got to taste after that was over. Yes?
We cannot see your slides.
Oh, great. Okay, let's see. Okay, it's supposed to be shared. I'll try it again.
There we go.
Okay, I won't back up. Can you see it now?
Yes, ma'am.
I'll just keep going. Can you see it, still see it?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, good, okay. So here's two people that are doing the It's Your Health Take Charge class in the food demonstration. And so again, whatever we're talking about that day, we try to correlate the recipe that we use for that demonstration. So Walk With These. This, as Sarah mentioned, is a direct education program designed to promote education about physical activity for people with arthritis. It's a 6-week structured program. And then what we do that's a little bit different, we added in a cooking demonstration after each class with Walk With These. And what we try to do is promote to the people that were in It's Your Health Take Charge or Cooking Matters to tell them about our Walk With These program. And then what we do with these food demonstrations, and while we're walking with them, we have them captured so we can continue to give additional nutrition nudges while we are walking with them. And again, Dana, who is the Cooking Matters guru, told you mostly about what curriculums that they have. And we also have pop-up tours. Now, what we've done during COVID, we have actually done virtual classes. We take the food, just say if it's in Florence, we would take the food to a partner, and then the participants would come and pick up that food for that class, as well as the take-home groceries. So we deliver the food, they go home, they get on camera with us, and we actually teach the whole class, and they do it in their kitchens as well. And we've had such great success with that, because rather than having to go out after work and go to a Cooking Matters class, they can stay right there in the kitchen with their family and do the whole class. In addition to that, we have started going back in person to some places that have asked, for example, Hope Health in Florence. We're going back there now and teaching classes, being socially distanced and safe, and doing those in person. But we can do either one. We can do virtual with the It's Your Health Take Charge, as well as Cooking Matters, depending on what the libraries want. And then here's Caroline teaching the nutrition portion of it. And then we do have a chef, as well as a nutritionist chef that teaches the culinary skills. And of course, this is obviously before COVID. And then the other thing that we do this with after school programs, and we do this in schools, or we've done this at libraries as well. It's a K-5 curriculum. It's got 8 lessons in it, and it's a play about 2 mice and a a cat, and one mouse is unhealthy and one is very healthy. And so it teaches nutrition as well as physical activity. There's a video of the play that also streams live on our DHEC website. And these classes are taught throughout the school year. And then here we are with the after-school program in this Richland 1 district. And there is Sharetta in an elementary school that she goes throughout the year once a month and teaches every child in K through 5th grade. And like I said, we've done these in the libraries as well. And it can be part of the curriculum. It can be a couple of classes. It can be the whole curriculum. Whatever the facility wants is what we do. And then Tiny Taste, See How We Grow. What is that? It is a sensory taste testing experience for preschoolers, ages 3 to 5. And with this curriculum, it's pre-K, 3 to 4 or 5 years old. And there's 13 lessons, and we choose from those lessons a variety of fresh fruits and vegetables, depending on what month it is. We take these fruits and vegetables to the children. We show them how it's grown, and we have them taste it. And they're actually, probably 80 to 90%, sometimes even 100% of the children will actually try them. And then we sing a song about that fruit or vegetable. We have the taste testing, and then a newsletter goes home with the children for the parents after each time we teach it, depending on whatever it is that we're teaching. And it talks about that fruit or vegetable. And actually some of the staff have seen children in the grocery store saying, "Oh, Mommy, we tried this at school. Can we get some of it?" So this really does help the children eat fruits and vegetables, some of them that they've never seen before. And they're a lot more apt to try it and get their moms to buy it after they've tried it in this class. And then here's one of our staff. They're sampling blood oranges. And this has been a really successful curriculum for us. And then the other thing that we do is we do taking charge of the farmers market. We do food demonstrations and tastings at the farmers market where they take SNAP, EBT, and senior vouchers. And we highlight the fruits and vegetables that the farmers are bringing in that day. And we ask the farmers, would you mind sort of displaying this today? Because we're getting ready to have a taste testing with the recipe, say it's with watermelon. And then we have them try that recipe, and then they can go around to the other farmers and actually purchase that with their SNAP or their senior vouchers, or even with their WIC vouchers. And we do this in targeted communities, and it starts in May and runs through October. And then we give them recipe cards as well as other nutrition information. And so here's one of the farmers, the 2 of our staff members, and they were demonstrating the watermelon salad that day. And then on his table, he had cut open watermelons and displayed them so that people could see what it was they were tasting at our booth. And then another thing that we do that could be translated as well, and I won't show you the video, we have a partnership with Palmetto Health, and we have 4 after-school programs in Richland 1 district. And this curriculum has been adapted from Eat Well and Keep Moving, and then we combine that with our other 2 curriculums, It's Your Health and Taking Charge in Meadowland, depending on the age group. And again, this is something that we can do either virtually or in person for after-school programs. And then here's the behind the scenes of the setup for the virtual program. And this actually is expanding this year. When this picture was taken, we had 4 schools. And so Jessica could see all of the schools at one time. And then the teachers are there with the kids. And then again, they actually purchased the food for these after school programs, but we would deliver the food that was being tested and tasted for that day to the libraries. And in any of our 21 counties, we go the day before and deliver the food. And another thing that we've done in the past, which has been very successful, is we worked with an autism camp. And that was a 12-week camp that met twice a week. And of course, the kids get in there. We have knives that are safe for children to use. And with that camp, everything had to be gluten-free, dairy-free, and nut-free. And that was very successful as well. And we really enjoyed doing that. And that's actually been in some churches. It's been in some other community centers. So if there's an opportunity for that, our staff is really well trained in how to do cooking classes for individuals with autism. And then of course, South Carolina Read, Eat, Grow, South Carolina Plants a Seed. We promote for libraries to participate in that. And of course, it integrates nutrition education, access to fresh produce. It integrates the summer feeding programs and literacy. And this started several years ago, and it's just a great, great program. And here's a picture in Lee County Library with the family. The kids are getting their lunch from the summer feeding program. And there's 2 parents in there reading a book. And they all get books when they come to participate in this. And then here's the setup. This is from a few years ago with some of your staff and yeah, Anderson and Quinn. And that was the display for South Carolina Plants a Seed. And then we also did a series of 6 food demonstrations with Marcus Lattimore. It was sponsored by First Choice Select Health. And these videos appear on our YouTube channel as well as Select Health Facebook. And they actually brought in some kids that were actually professional actors to help with these food demonstrations that were done. And then the other thing that we have, it's called Text to Be Well SC. It's a texting program that participants can opt into. And this is a RAT card that we put in DSS offices. We've put them in some health centers. We can put them in libraries, and you opt in to receive a quick and easy either healthy recipe, nutrition message. And during COVID, we did lots with food access, creating budget saving tips. We do messages on physical activity, and this has really come along, and we've got lots of participants in this program. And then, of course, we do policy systems and environmental changes. We assisted farmers with accepting SNAP, EBT, and healthy bucks. We've worked with USC and the counties on growing cob, which is where they've actually had gardens and they've harvested them. And then sometimes when we do the gardens, the teachers will harvest that whatever's in those gardens, and they have these tastings for the kids. We're getting ready to do one at a child development center in Newberry, and kiwi is one of the things that we taste. And so everything that's in that garden is part of Tiny Taste, See How We Grow. And then we've done child training for the PD Regions of staff. We've done training for the York County Library System and incorporating foods within food safety and knife skills. And we've worked with coalitions to get new farmers in new counties as well. Oops, sorry about that. Okay, and then we've also worked with the Marion County Coordinating Council. Creating Health was selected by the Build Health Challenge together with the PD Community Action Center and other partners to prevent child obesity through the produce prescription program. We've done the food share with Marion County. And then we're also working right now with Darlington County Coordinating Council Blueprint for Health, and they're about to put in a walking trail in that area, as well as plant a garden. So as these blueprint grants come available in our counties, our PSC coordinator works with them. So this is how to reach us. We have a toll-free number. And then we also have our own email that if you're interested in any of our programs in any of the libraries, this is our email address. Do you have any questions?
Oh, great. Thank you, Sandy. So yes, what sorts of questions do we have for the presenters? Feel free to put it in chat or to unmute. Hopefully you've been able to see from the presentation this morning that there's a wide variety of programs available for free. Darlene, go ahead.
Yes, my question is, I think the biggest problem that most people I know have, and myself included sometimes, is that when you go to select your produce, how can you, and especially your herbs, how can you tell which ones are really fresh, other than just by looking at them? Because a lot of times they can look like they're in season and they look like they might be fresh. I'm thinking particularly about something such as ginger root. When I go to buy ginger, it always looks like it's all shriveled up and old to me. So, and then when you go to get your melons, even when it's in season, how do you know which one to pick or choose? So that's the biggest question, knowing when which fruit or which vegetable to pick up when you see so many, to tell whether or not they're fresh and all of that.
That's a really great question. Somebody want to take that on?
I know that Clemson has a like a planting guide, and I can get that really quick and send that over to you. That has, you know, different recommendations of, you know, what to plant when at what times, and that's probably the best toolkit to use. I use that for my personal garden in my backyard, so that probably is the best resource to use. And there are other links on the web that talk about, you know, things that are good to grow. In South Carolina, we're split into 3 different zones. So even being able, so I see you're in the lower country, even being able to see something that might grow well in Pickens, it will harvest or need to be planted a little bit earlier than it would to be down in your area. So I'll make sure to put the link in the chat box.
Awesome. Thank you, Ashley. And then as far as being able to choose something at the grocery store or the farmer's market that is fresh and in season, what are some good resources for that? Knowing that you're picking out a good watermelon when you're at the farmer's market.
Arlene, this is Sarah King with Clemson SNAP-Ed. I did want to let you know, we do actually have some materials and assistance, not specifically about watermelons, but, you know, how to identify produce. That's also something that we walk through within our CMAT tours as we're looking at fresh produce, what's in season, how to know what's in season. We have particular guides that will tell you what is fresh within that period of the year. Fortunately, in South Carolina, we do have various fruits and vegetables that are fresh throughout all of our calendar year, but that is something within our Cooking Matters series we are able to offer at times, and be able to show people how to identify what is the good produce.
Thank you both for your answers. I appreciate that.
Of course.
Thank you. And then we had a question in the chat from Jessica about that registration. It can be difficult commitment for families to register for a 6 or a 12-week course. Do the courses build off of one another, those 6-week in a row, or could we have a rotating registration where you don't necessarily see the same families each time? So that would be for any of you with the classes.
I can respond. This is Dana. I see that you're in Spartanburg, Jessica, so I know that Sarah can probably speak more to that. But with regards to Cooking Matters, it can seem like a commitment to sign up for a 6-week course, but yes, it does build on itself. And I'm telling you, if we can get them, the families, the participants in there for at least one class, they will clear their schedule to keep coming. I've had it with schools before, the parents come in, they're kind of like, oh, my kid made me sign up for this. And then they like didn't realize it was a 6-week commitment, and they're going, I don't know if I can do this. And by the end of the first class, they say, I'm clear on my schedule. I will be there every week. And so we only offer 6 weeks, not 12, but they do have to come to at least 4 of the 6 to graduate. So again, recognize it's a commitment, but we have so much fun, and they do get food each week, that people generally, once they get in, are willing to commit. The virtual series we're offering is not a 6-week commitment, so they can come to whatever they want. It still builds on itself, and we do believe that coming to more than one, they will have more behavior change than just coming for one topic. But again, for Spartanburg, I would look to Sarah for what programs are not a 6-week or 12-week commitment, for what programming they can offer you.
Yes, thank you, Dana. Essentially, it is the same Cooking Matters series. It's the same type that we implement within Clemson up in Spartanburg too. So the in-person classes are wonderful and amazing. Usually, like Dana mentioned, most of our participants after the first one clear their schedule. They do need to attend 4 L6 classes to graduate with Cooking Matters, as well as our Walk with Ease program. But both of those programs are only 6 weeks, and we do not have a 12-week program. And we're also able to offer the virtual Cooking Matters program that Dana just mentioned as well, which is a come in as you go, but they do build off of each other, and we do encourage our participants to attend as many as possible. So we also, if there's a one-time class occurrence just to get their feet wet, we can offer them the My Plate program or our My Plate class as an introduction to some of the basic nutrition information, and then Cooking Matters can be expanded off from there as well. So, great question.
This is Sandy Spann. With our It's Your Health Take Charge program, so while the Cooking Matters is 6 weeks in a row, It's Your Health Take Charge can be done every 2 weeks. It can be done once a month to complete the 6 lessons. So it's not so much of a commitment for that 6 weeks. We try to gear it towards what the participants want. And sometimes it is once a month over a period of 6 months.
Perfect. Thank you all. Any other questions? All right, I am going to stop the recording.